fly pelican, and I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a pelican forever, pelican forever. Ain't gon' lie, I feel flyer than I ever been. We stay ballin', this New Orleans, I'm a pelican. It's going down in the nest, wild, wild west. Come in town and you best show us some respect. 3-point threat, I better make it rain. If it's up, then don't jump stupid like your ankle sprain. Always said, never hate the player, hate the game. Jumper where the dame late, punch a train. Post game, big Q, talking about business. Bird gang, YouTube, they ain't flocking with us. Lock up the division mission, get into the finals. Finish competition, then it's going win the title. I know this flyer than you can get. Such a threat that the refs just might call a tag. You could double, you could press, but you can't check. Right, left, slide by you like a Eurostep. Fly pelican, fly pelican, fly pelican. And I tell them that birds of a feather flock together. Fly down, I'm a pelican forever, pelican forever. And never, and never, and never, and never, and never, and never say birds of a feather flock together. Yeah, fly down, I'm a pelican forever, pelican forever.
Walk us through your complaints with the officials there as best you can without getting fined and what was going through your mind?
Yeah, sure. I disagreed with the foul and the technical that Jose got. And, I kind of voiced my displeasure with it and pretty animated about how I felt about it.
This one seemed to get away starting in the third quarter. Yeah. What changed? Again, a tale of two halves, just the reverse of last night.
We got to be consistent. And right now we're not. And it's the common theme with our group over the last, 4 or 5 games or so is that it's always one quarter where it just gets away. And it's something I got to figure out and something our team has to figure out. And we will, but right now we're just going through it, and we have to pick up our juice and be consistent doing it.
What'd you think about, Brandon playing in his first game in 2 months?
Great to have him out there. Started the game really well, moving the ball. He's knocking off some rust, which we expected. But we'll continue to stick together, and we'll get healthier, and get after it. But tonight was not our night. Give the Timberwolves credit. They came in here and their third quarter sparked their run, and we couldn't get it back.
Yeah, I mean, what do you feel like you guys just could have done better in that third quarter, which kind of decided that game?
We got to play with a sense of urgency. We didn't do that. That's every quarter. It's every second, every minute that we step on the floor. It has to be a level and a standard. And right now we're having slippage in that area.
And just what did you think about just the way he was moving around out there? He talked about a lot of it is just getting confidence back, feeling good, pushing off the foot. Just what did you think about just the way he was able to move and explode off the foot tonight?
I thought Brandon was solid for the minutes that he played, and I think he'll continue to get better as he plays more minutes, more games, more practices.
And what about Najee as well? It looked like he was shaking off a little bit of rust too. How much just with those two guys just not being right, how much did that kind of affect the offense as well?
Well, we expected it. We expected rust from Brandon, rust from Najee. It's a part of it, but that doesn't negate the fact that we have to play with more of a sense of urgency across the board. I thought our defense was solid. We got to attack and transition. There's some things we can do better offensively, and right now we're just not doing it.
More to the offense, especially in that second and third quarter. Do you feel like you were getting the shots you wanted? They just weren't falling for you guys right there?
I feel like they just punched us in the mouth in the third quarter. And when we got hit, we said, okay, in fourth quarter now we're deciding that we want to play. We can't do that. NBA is too hard to win in this league to allow a team to score 39 points. So even if we're getting the looks that we want, we got to execute them.
Since you were on the road and said you guys haven't been yourself defensively, you've put together a few good defensive performances. Like you said, tonight was solid. They only got 4 offensive rebounds. Do those things inspire hope that, hey, just like small tweaks away from getting back on track?
Sure. Yeah. We're not far away from being where we want to be. But that's how close it is in the NBA. The top teams from the bottom teams, it's an 8 to 10 point difference. And so defensively, I think we're kind of doing what we would do. We have our identity. Offensively, we got to get it back.
Yeah, Coach, about that offensive identity, it just seems that one of the bigger things there's just been some stagnancy with the ball movement, player movement, screens, just all of those things that earlier in the season, the Pelicans were a fast-moving offensive team, the 0.5 that you've always talked about. Now, these last 7 games in particular, it seems the team is moving at a much slower pace, and the assists are down, turnovers up.
Yep.
Now,
Is
it a mental? Have you reached a wall as a team at this point of the season? Is it something that where you want to reinforce the basics, or is it just the myriad of combinations of all the things that have happened over the last month?
It's a combination, but we're in the toughest stretch of our season as far as games, and as we're going through this stretch, we're missing guys. So we're asking guys to take, once again, steps up. And sometimes our guys think that means, more dribbles, more shots, but it means more deflections, more rebounds, run harder, set better screens. They understand that. But those are the points that we got to get across. We'll be fine. It's a part of it. It's a part of our growth. We have to go through this. We'll stay together. We'll continue to grind, and we'll get back on track. Okay. Thank you, guys.
All things Pelicans. Now tuned into the Pelican post-game report. This was entitled "Pelican Lose Again" to the Timberwolves, 111-102. Man, we up in this thing, and of course, despite Brandon Ingram's return, the Pelicans could not capitalize on this game. It was a scrappy game for much of the game, but then ultimately at certain points of the game, like the top of the third, and it just turned ugly in the matchup. Pelicans fall 6 straight. Probably it's definitely the toughest stretch of games. A lot of the momentum the Pelicans built up over time is evaporating as the team is struggling with the play. Now, of course, they did get BI back, like we said. He was rusty as hell in the game, although he had hit some really nice-looking midi shots. At the end of the day, it was a loss. Pelicans go down. They're 26-23, free-falling in this thing. We'll show you the standings and the rest of the schedule as we get this one going in the Pelican post-game report. I'm Big Q. In this matchup, please feel free to hit, or this recap rather, please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and feel free to share the Pelican post-game report on your social media feed. We up in this thing. Shout out to the fam. All right, so with that being said, let's get into some of the team statistics. Pelicans 37 of 85 or 43.5%, 12 of 38 from downtown for 31.6 versus the Wolves 40 of 82 for almost 49%, and they shot 11 of 29 from downtown for almost 38%. They went to the foul line 28 times, converted 20 of 28. Pelicans 16 of 21 for 76.2, and 20 of 28 by the T-Wolves, 71.4 from the free throw line. Pelicans 42-36 on the fast breaks. You look at the assists, 25-23 Pels, 8-4 steals. T-Wolves 7-5 blocks Pelicans, 15 turnovers by the Pelicans in the matchup against the Timberwolves in this one. 15 turnovers with 18 points off turnovers versus only 9 turnovers by the T-Wolves. Single-digit turnovers by them, 6 points off turnovers. Fast break game is also won by them 18-4. They also won the points in the paint 50-40, which kind of shows a big difference. Fast break points beating the Pelicans to the other end, and of course, outdoing them in the points in the paint helped contribute it. They kept it single-digit in terms of the turnovers in the matchup. And really, what the Pelicans kind of fell out, the third quarter really hurt the Pelicans bad. They could not get beyond the third quarter. They lost. It was just a terrible third quarter. They allowed them to score almost 40 points. They lost the quarter by 18 points, lose the game, as you can see. So, we can look at the team statistics in this one, family. All I could tell you is that, we had an opportunity, just like in the prior games. Just in this one, we just couldn't do what needed to be done to close out the game. The T-Wolves gave the Pelicans opportunities in the matchup. Now, the refereeing was awful as usual, but at the end of the day, the Pelicans still had an opportunity to win this contest. Giving up that third quarter like we did when we allowed them to score 18 more points than us in the quarter, we couldn't get back from, to capture the lead. To do what we need to do. But we did get close late until they kind of pushed it beyond that. So they hit a series of shots down the line, some big 3-point shots. They were hitting down the stretch to keep pushing the momentum away, and Minnesota ended up taking it to get back to 525. Pelicans 26-23, man, losing a lot of our momentum that we built up over the last several weeks. How unfortunate. At the end, of course, we look at the individual statistics. 25 from C.J. McCollum in 34 minutes of action, 9 of 17 from the field. He was 5 of 9 from downtown, 25 points, 8 assists, 5 boards, and 2 blocks and a steal for C.J. McCollum. He led the Pelican effort. 15 from Valanciunas in 29 minutes of action, 7 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from downtown, double by Big V. 15 points, 12 boards in the block for him. 13 from BI in his first game back in a while. He played only 26 minutes, scored 13 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds. He did have 4 turnovers. He was rusty. 0 for 6 from downtown, 4 of 8 from the field, 4 of 18, from the field. Didn't look good. Trey Murphy in 21 minutes of action, only 6 points for him on 5 shots. He was 0 for 3 from downtown and 2 of 5 from the field. 6 points for Trey Murphy in the game. Herb Jones in 26 minutes, only 4 points, 5 rebounds, and an assist for Herb. He was 0 for 5 from downtown. Just a horrible shooting performance in many respects by the Pelicans. 0 for 5 by Herb, 0 for 6 by BI, 0 for 3 by Trey Murphy. A lot of missed shots there from downtown. 0 for 2 for Najee. Off the bench, Graham. After all of the smokes, Graham's done got. He finally stepped up and led the bench effort in 16 minutes. He was perfect. He was 4 of 4 from the field, 4 of 4 from downtown. He had 12 points, plus 9 on the plus minus for him to lead the bench effort. And, of course, Jose Alvarado in 24 minutes, he struggled. So one gets going, the other one struggles. 3 of 9 by Jose. He had 7 points, but did give you plus 12 on the plus minus ratio. 3 assists, 4 boards for him. 7 from Larry Nance with 3 rebounds in 22 minutes of action. 5 points for Najee Marshall and 4 rebounds as he came back as well, played 27 minutes. He was also very rusty in the matchup. Pelicans couldn't get it going. They go down. Season series between these two, a 1-1. April the 9th is when they see each other for the deciding third game. Now, the top people, Anthony Edwards went off for the T-Wolves. He had 37 points in 37 minutes. That was a point a minute for Anthony Edwards with 5 assists and 6 rebounds. He carried the day. He was Mr. Big Stuff. He did some really good things for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and if it wasn't for Anthony Edwards, the Wolves wouldn't have took this game. 19 from Russell in the matchup with 5 assists and 3 rebounds. 17 from Rudy Gobert and 12 boards, 10 apiece from McDaniels and Anderson. So, like I said, Edwards, he was the big sticking point, even though Russell did hit several big shots down the stretch in the game, actually. And of course, Anthony Edwards, he was Mr. Everything for him. So the Pelicans losing this one at home, and it's unfortunate, man. It really is very unfortunate going down. Let's take a look at the team statistics before we jump into the next matchup that they'll have against the Washington Wizards. This is how it looks currently, family. In the Western Conference standing, as you can see, the Denver Nuggets is the top class there, the top team of the class. They're 8-2 of the last 10 contests. The Grizzlies, after playing really well, winning like 11 something in a row, they've all of a sudden lost 4 in a row. The Kings are now in third place, and the Pelicans have fallen 2 games behind the Sacramento Kings. They're losers of 6 in a row. The Clippers have won 3 in a row. Dallas has lost 2 in a row. So, and then you got Phoenix winning 4 in a row. They're trying to jump into the top 6. So the Pelicans got to keep that momentum. They got a terrible 6-game losing streak. They're a stinking rotten 2 of 8 in the last 10 contests, and it has to stop. So BI is back. It's a lot of positive stuff. You'll see better production from BI. You'll see a better game from Najee Marshall. Those 2 guys coming back at the same time really helps the Pelicans. And we got the Wizards up next. The Pelicans need to take care of business to kind of stop this slide, because this started on the road. I think it was in Cleveland when this first loss started, and the Pelicans been sliding ever since. So they came off of the final game of the 5-game road trip against Cleveland. They lost that. Then they came back. They lost the home game that they had before against the Heat before they jumped on the road against Orlando and Miami lost those games, and then turn around and lose to the Nuggets and then the T-Wolves. So Wizards up next. Pelicans have to break the slide, no doubt about it. So this is what they're facing against a Washington Wizard team coming up. Kyle Kuzma, top scorer for the team, over 22 points a game. Porzingis, almost 9. And Morris, the former Denver Nugget guard, averages over 5 assists per contest. CJ right now, 21.2, leads the team. Big V, almost 10 rebounds per game. And CJ, almost 6 assists per contest, leads the Pelicans. Kristaps Porzingis, who's been playing really well for the Wizards, is listed as out. And this is what the latest reports. And of course, we do have a couple of days before it could change. So the Wizards they said they have optimism that Porzingis could be ready to turn within the lineup within 2 weeks after he recovers from the left ankle sprain. So we can see Porzingis, who's averaging over 22 points and 9 rebounds per contest, should be out against the Pelicans, and that was as of 2 days ago. So we probably won't see him. We definitely won't see him in a matchup. Monty Morris, the fantastic young point guard, averaging over 10 points, 5 assists per game, is day-to-day, so he might play as well against the team. And, of course, we know Zion Williamson is very close to playing. And, of course, they evaluated Zion Williamson. And then, of course, it's looking pretty interesting on him. Now, Dyson Daniels, who suffered an injury, Coach Willie noted that Daniels' ankle will be out for a little bit of time and probably won't see him until after the All-Star break, when they work these guys back and get them ready to get back to doing a business. So anyway, as you can see, the last several games, as you can see, the Wizards have been picking up the pace. 5 straight wins, according to this. Well, I'm going to check it out and make sure, but I know the Pelicans losers of 6 in a row. The Wizards, as it stands, are winners in 4 in a row, a matchup. So they're picking up the pace. They're doing some positive stuff on their side of things as well. So, yeah, let's take a look at their schedule right here. So, yeah, they have won 4 games in a row since the Golden State, New York, and Golden State losses. New York, Orlando, Dallas, and Houston. So they're feeling pretty good about themselves coming into this matchup against the Pelicans at 22 and 26. So how would that fare against the Pelicans? You take a look at the depth chart right here, as they're saying Monty Morris could be out for this matchup. Bradley Beal is most certainly back, which he wasn't in there the first time the Pelicans played, but Bradley Beal is back for this one. So that will be a problem for the Pelicans. But, Porzingis is not there, but Beal is back. Monty Morris has a couple of days, and he's listed as day-to-day. Kyle Kuzma and Beal there. Kristaps is going to be out. Daniel Gafford is another player that really helps out, plays well for him. Taj Gibson and several others. Will Barton, Kendrick Nunn, who's also was brung over via trade from the Lakers to join him to add some point guard depth and scoring. He averages over 7 points a game to the team. So that's not a bad little move right here to bring him in. And also, boy, these guys got Johnny Davis, man, and he ain't doing a damn thing with them. Really weird about that, not seeing him. But anyway, this is what it looks like, family. They're winners of what, 4 games in a row against the Pelicans, 6-game slide. I'm saying this should be a win for the Pelicans. This is the final. I think it is the final row of the Pelicans. Final of the Pelicans road. Let me see if I can get the Pelicans schedule up here for the family members to check out. But this should ultimately, this is the final road game that the Pelicans had. The 3-game homestand that the Pelicans have, they've flittered it away. I mean, here it is right here, just to show you right here. As you can see, the Cleveland game is where it started. And then it carried from Miami, Orlando, Miami again, Denver. And then here we go with Minnesota, 6 games. It has to stop. It has to stop, man, because this is going to be really weird because they have to beat Washington to break it because they got Milwaukee on that Sunday right behind them. That's going to be difficult. So if the Pelicans don't beat Washington, more than likely they're going to struggle, and it could be very well pushed up to 8-game losing streak. We don't need to keep losing these games. The Pelicans really have to knuckle down and make this shit stop right now. So when BI getting back into the lineup, that's a positive for the Pelicans and Najee Marshall and all these guys. So CJ McCollum, BI, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, and we get some of these guys back. We lost Dyson Daniels probably until after a month or so after the All-Star break to see how his ankle is, but we starting to get there. We still missing out on Zion, and we'll see. But I'm gonna have to say the Pelicans just because they have to. Willie getting kicked out of the game, trying to spark the Pelicans, kick them out of this malaise. They needed some more offensive output. Brandon Ingram's back. Najee Marshall's back. That should steady the Pelicans to a degree. KLJ is on the team as well. Is there. So he should get some more minutes to help them off the bench. So we should see the Pelicans starting to step up and handle some business. On the flip side, as we get closer and closer to February, and a lot of the trade rumors are kind of circulating around what the Pelicans are going to do. And of course, there were rumors mentioned that the Pelicans actually were asking about Collins, reaching out to the Atlanta Hawks about Collins and what he looks like. So anyway, that's my call on the matchup between them going up against the Washington Wizards. I think the Pelicans should be able to pull this off. They've got to stop the slide, get back on the plus side of things. A lot of positive momentum. The Pelicans are have lost on this current 6-game losing streak. They got to snap it and get on the plus side of it. Other positive news and notes before we end the stream is that Zion Williamson, that's right, as of recently released, that Zion Williamson named West All-Star starter, the youngest among February 19 games 10 starters. All rookie team to All-Star, reserved to All-Star starters. Zion Williamson top accolades continue to accelerate since he was picked number 1 overall in the 2019 draft. Now, hopefully, with him being called, picked up at the starter, hopefully he can start getting some of those starter level calls when he gets fouled. Hopefully this is the start of that. The Pelicans added the latter honor to his ever-expanded professional resume Thursday when TNT's broadcast announced that Williamson's joining the Joker and LeBron in the Western Conference All-Star starting front court. The West guards are Steph Curry and Luka Doncic, and at 22 years of age, Williamson's the youngest All-Star starter this year, with the East Quintet being Irvin, Mitchell, and Tatum, Durant, and Giannis. Now, Williamson was an All-Star reserve in 2021, the previous season he played. So far in 22-23, he's averaging 27 points, 7 rebounds, 4.6 assists, and a steal. The 2023 All-Star game is Sunday, February the 19th, tipping off at 7 p.m. Central from Utah Jazz home arena in Salt Lake City. In the weeks prior to being sidelined, January the 2nd, with Philadelphia with that hamstring, Williamson posted career highs in a range of categories, including 43 versus Minnesota on the 28th of December, Rebounds tied his best with 15 at San Antonio on December the 2nd. Assists 9 at Phoenix December the 17th. And steals 42 versus Phoenix on December the 11th. So a lot of good things right there. Zion Williamson gets named All-Star starter for this upcoming All-Star. So we know Zion Williamson will be back to play basketball, at least an All-Star game, which means you'll see BI and All-Star Zion Williamson after the All-Star break. Didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I tell you? See how it all rolls out? And then finally on the stream, let's talk about this one, family. From Clutch Points, is rumors circulate, not them, but various other media operations is saying that Pelicans has reached out to the Hawks on John Collins trade, but there's a catch. Let's go over it. Here, when the trade winds swirl in NBA, Atlanta forward John Collins is a name that floated around at frequent clip. The reason why might vary, but it's understanding why teams would be interested in the big man with a versatility to guard multiple positions. According to Chris Haynes of Bleacher Report, there's a new team who has acquired about the services of John Collins, and it's a team trying to make noise in the rugged Western Conference. Per Haynes, the New Orleans Pelicans reached out to the Atlanta Hawks regarding forward Collins, but the talks were merely preliminary, according to league sources. Atlanta's fielding offers for Collins, but is comfortable keeping him on the roster past the trade deadline if the right move does not materialize. Now, for the Hawks, why wouldn't they be comfortable keeping Collins on the team? A player averaging 13 points and 8 rebounds per game is definitely worth keeping, especially if the right trade offer doesn't pass by. Now, as for the Pelicans, getting Collins would be an interesting addition for a team looking for big man depth. We all know how good Zion is, but he has trouble staying on the court consistently. Fellow teammate Brandon Ingram is also dealing with injuries. He just came back. So we'll see. Just like this is all lining up, we talked about the Pelicans, Zion Williamson having his issue, BI finally coming back, and now we see with Zion making All-Star break, we'll see Zion at some point during the All-Star break or during the All-Star game, and then on the outside, on the back end, once all that stuff is over with, we'll see BI and Zion gather, and the rest of the team get some chemistry going as they get ready for the last several months of the season going into the playoffs, and that's when it counts. So the Pelicans, rough, tough year and getting through January. We got several more days of January. Just want to get out of January alive, to be honest with you. At this point, it's been a rough tumble month for the Pelicans. And with that being said, we're going to get out on this. Listen, I appreciate you guys for chiming in on this episode of the Pelican Post Game Report. Please feel free to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and by all means, feel free to share the show on your social media feed with other Pelican faithful. With that being said, I'm Big Q. I'm going to holler at y'all on the flip side. We'll see you for the upcoming matchup, and we should get this one. Go Pels.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, and even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. Check out the Pro Shop. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the pro shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the pro shop and who that too.